Hello and welcome back to Daily Direction Part 4, where we're going to be looking at this really cool animated logo / tooltip. So moving into Webflow, let's get our first div down. We're going to call this tooltip parent 1 and we're going to give this a width of 40 pixels and a height of 28 pixels. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set this to relative, and that is it for the first part. The next bit we're going to do is we're going to drop a div in. We're going to call this toolbar, and we're going to give it a width of 100%, height of 2 pixels. We're also going to set this to relative. We're going to put some margin on the bottom, probably around 10 pixels will do, and then we're going to give it a background color. Now we have that, we can basically select the toolbar and copy and paste it in 3 times. So now we have that. What we need to do is we just need to get another div and drop it inside of the toolbar. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give this a class of tool.1, and then we're going to look at like maybe 2 pixels and height of 4 pixels. Let's give it a background color. And what we're going to have to do here is just have a look at the sizing. See, that wasn't right, so let's just go back, bump it up a little bit on the width, bump it up on a little bit on the height, and then what we need to do is just go and give it a little bit of border radius. Give it like kind of a pill shaped kind of vibe. Again, we're just tweaking here, kind of getting it right, just making sure we're happy with the shape. Could also go back to here. They were a little bit fatter and squidgier. I think 6 or 7, and then maybe keep it on 9. Now, I'm happy with that, I think. So, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to set this to absolute, and then what we can do is we can just start to put in some parameters. So we want to move this along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go 7, and then we're going to have to come in some negative here to get this to line. 2, 3, and I think we may have to just reduce that down in size, which is good. And then what we can do now is we can just copy that little dot. If we just copy that little dot, the tool dot, and then we drop it into the bottom one, we now have the 2 dots. And then what we can do is just copy again and drop it into the middle. Now what we need to do to the middle one is we just need to get this, we need to duplicate this, call it 2, get rid of that, and then just do the opposite. So now we have that little logo already created, which is great. So moving on to the next bit, which is the little tooltip. Again, all we need to do is just close these up, and we're going to drop a div in. Just probably drop it at the top here, will do. And what we're going to do is we're going to call this tooltip, and we're going to set the position to absolute straight away. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give it a width of 80 pixels, height of 30. Let's have a little look. Might be a bit big. Let's go 25. Let's just bring this down to 75. Put flex and center, and we want to give it a background color, and also we want to give it some border radius. And this feels a little bit too big still, so I'm just gonna drop it down again. Let's get it down to 20. Yeah, I think that's about right. And then what we need to do is we just need to drop in some text. So drop some text in. There's a lot in there at the moment. And then we want to just settings. Going to get this. We're going to call this tool tip text do 1, and then we want to go in, just want to change our type around. Definitely going to have to bring the size down on this, change it to white, and we've got that in now. So what we're going to do is, because we've set this to absolute, we can now start to position this where we want it to sit. So I'm going to bring it in 10, and then we could just move it up like this. Let's go to 38. And now we're set to where we want to be, which is great. So we've got this all sorted. Now what we need to do is select that tooltip parent. We're going to do a hover. We're going to go here. We're going to call this 04 tooltip hover. And what we're going to do is we are going to first do this little tooltip. So we're going to select the tooltip. We're going to do a move. Select it to the initial state. It's 1, 2. I think that might be enough. Move it down 20 pixels. And then we want to move. And we also want to bring it to 0. Then we want to do an opacity on it. So opacity, bring it down. And then we also want to do opacity again. And then what we can do now is we can just select both of these, put them on ease, put them on like 0.3. Now I always find with smaller interactions, quicker speeds work quite well, and slower ones kind of show you too much, if that makes sense. So here, it's nice and springy in, that's great. Perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to do these dots. So we can select dot 1, and then what we need to do is we need to do a move, and we need to set this on 0 pixels to start with. And we do a move again. We're just going to bring these in line with the others, which is 20, which is great. And then again we just ease 1.3. Then we select our second dot and we do a move, 0 pixels, move again, and just bring this over to the others, ease, 0.3, and there you go. That's the first part. So we've already done that extremely quickly, already really brought this, this little logo to life. And how you can start to build out your own little logos in CSS, really. So it's definitely possible. So let's just do the rollout. And we're going to just duplicate this. We're going to get rid of all of these. We're going to select these, take them off the initial state, do an ease, and we're going to change it back to 0.3. And there you go. That's how you create this really nice custom logo / tooltip. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial.